Welcome back to the show where we will teach you how to overlay your life with some color. Today we're using Color Bar to make an overlay and a uniform color application. Let's get into it. I'm Michael.
And I'm Katie.
This is Glass in a Flash. So this is Color Bar or Color Rod. Today we've got some Apfelgelb. It's German for apple green, but we get this from Germany. And this is what we use if we want to make more uniform color applications. So when we get this long bar of color, we don't need all of it. We're going to break it up into smaller pieces. Depending on what we're making and the scale of the object, that obviously is what dictates the size of the color that we need to use. For the piece that we're going to make today, a pretty standard average size piece of glass, we'll use maybe 1.5 inches, and we'll probably use a little more than we need just to make it really easy to show you the visual of getting this overlay accomplished. This is our color chopper, very simple. You put the color bar in, you load it in the tray. It's got this big weight on the end, and then it's got these 2 angle iron pieces here. When we drop it, it's gonna cut that color for us, basically just breaks it in 2. So get that lined up, the amount that I need, and then all I have to do is drop this, catch it, and now we're ready to load it into our color oven to preheat. So for our color oven, we've got little trays, we'll put the color bar in, and then we just load it in. We've already got the oven on. It's set at 1025 degrees, but we'll just load that in and we'll let that start to preheat so that we can grab it out and use it without it exploding. If we just try and pick it up, it'll heat too quickly, expand, and blow up. But now, we're ready to work.
All right, so we'll start the process after the color's in the box by making a bubble on a pipe. Because you're adding a little bit of color over a bubble, you want the bubble to stay small and thick. So we'll get a little bit of glass, and I'll gather just the right amount on the pipe. But I'm thinking the whole time about how big that color overlay is. So I don't want to get too much glass. There are a few different methods to creating a nice bubble for a color overlay. You can sit down at the workbench and you can shape and tool the glass with a block, but you can also use the marver. So what I want to do here is cool the outside, because essentially I'm going to put a bubble into this. So just like our regular bubble setup, but we do want the walls of the bubble to be really, really, really even. And I hold it up so the bubble will shoot straight to the tip. I release it when it gets to where I want it. In order to get a nice overlay, you want the shape of the bubble to be particular also. So you want the tip to be a little bit more bullet shaped and round so that you can easily pull that color overlay all the way to the very tip of the pipe. Now, when you're adding your color overlay, anything that's past this pipe and down is unusable, but you do want to anchor the overlay all the way to the end of the pipe.
So we're gonna pick up the color on a 3/4 inch Pontil rod. If we use a smaller piece of color, then we might use a 1/2 inch diameter rod, but for this bigger piece of color, we're using 3/4. We just want a little tiny bit of glass on the end of this, just enough to get the color to stick on the surface. So I don't need much material. And then as soon as I come out of the furnace, I'm actually gonna hold this up so that the glass falls down around the end of the rod. I don't want a bunch of clear on the tip, because if I've got a bunch of clear, that's a place that's gonna heat up quickly, and then when you try and heat your color, it can start to fall off. Some people like to stamp this flat on the marver, so you've got a really square contact for picking the color up. I don't, but that's mostly because if I do that, then I might have to take another heat to heat up the end of that clear glass so that my color bar sticks. Once I get my color, I'm straight over to the hole so that I can start to heat that color. I don't want to stay out of that pickup box too long, because then the color can crack. So you got to be really swift from the color box to the glory hole. So now I'm just working on heating the entire thing. I'm trying to build the heat in throughout this entire piece of color, and it's going to take several heats. It's going to take a little bit of time, and I'm going to have to do some shaping in between. Once this really gets hot and starts moving, I'm going to come over to the marver. The first thing I'm going to do is start parallel, and I'm going to push forward a little bit just so that I don't have my color falling off the end of the rod. And then I will also start to angle the back end of the pipe down because I'm trying to create a taper so that it's narrower at the pipe end and wider at the tip. Now as I heat this color, I'm actually holding the pipe at a slight upward angle because I'm trying to shorten this. So when I pick it up and I have this long rod, it gets kind of swirly and out of control. And I want to condense it into almost a round ball because that makes it easier to put it over the top of the bubble and work it down around the bubble. So if I hold it at a slight angle, we've got a little bit of gravity working to our advantage to help me settle this back. All right, so once this starts to settle back, I'll head over to the marver and I'm gonna again start with that low back angle. I'm cooling that backside down, supporting it, creating a little structure. And then I can come up high and I can hit the tip. And as I'm rolling, I'm pushing forward and it's starting to shorten. And then I'll hit the backside again. And I'm almost making a bit of a diamond shape. So I'll do this one more time and then we'll almost be ready to drop this color. The other thing that I'm trying to keep in mind is we need to cut this color off of the end of the pipe. So if I have the backside a little more narrow, it's going to be easier to get the diamond shears around to cut it. So that's one of the other reasons why I keep coming back and reiterating that angle, so I'm narrowing this down. As I'm heating for an overlay or a color drop, the thing that I'm looking for is how quickly that glass starts to move on the punty as I'm heating it. When I'm rolling on the marver, I'm cooling the glass down. If that glass then heats up very quickly and starts to move when I get back to the glory hole, that's telling me that I'm cooling the surface on the marver, but that I'm still retaining a lot of heat within the core and all the way through the glass. That's really important. If you drop this color and it's cold on the inside, it's gonna make it harder for your partner to cut the glass free, but then it also is very difficult for them to get the glass hot enough that they can work it down around the bubble. If they've got to spend a lot of time heating that color up, they're also going to be heating the bubble. And then when they go to push the color down around the bubble, they're going to distort or disrupt the shape of the bubble. And that's no good. So we just want quick touch on the marver, get a little shape, and then you'll see how quickly this starts to move around again because it's hot all the way through. So I've been here for 5 seconds. Already really runny. So now we're ready to drop this for Katie.
So at this point, we're gonna drop this over onto the bubble. This bubble, I really want it to not move at all because I'm also gonna pull the color all the way over like a sock. So I don't want this very hot. I want it really rigid. I'm gonna hold it upright to where gravity will go in my favor to get it right on the very top. And then I'll tell Michael I'm ready whenever he is. He's gonna bring it over.
I'm ready.
He'll get it kind of in a good dropping position with his shoulders. I grab it, then he stops turning. Then I'll let it fall, but get it right on center. And I'm looking for that center line to be level. Because once you get it here, you can simply pull it all the way over. This is where you even it out. And you want a really even line right here. I like to make it a little bit of an angle. Everyone does this differently. But then I want to heat primarily just the color. You can heat the entire bubble, you can heat the entire color and the entire bubble right now. That's a really good setup too sometimes. But when I see that that color is moving a little bit, but then I'll bring it over to the table to shape this. You want to start at the very tip and push that color all the way over, lowering that back end as you do it. Then I'll go towards the back here and even out the back. But when you push that glass, oftentimes you can thicken it right here. So if you want to, you can move some of that glass back to the tip so you have better color saturation and a really even coating. I like to give this one more reheat and one more shape so I know that the color overlay is really even, but I give it another reheat. This also evens out the bubble inside. It gets everything really nice and happy again. I'll start in the back because I want to push it towards the tip. And if you had a lot of struggle with getting this overlay all the way over, sometimes you might lose your bubble. That's kind of a beginner mistake and that's okay, but you want to blow into it again, trap your air and look for movement. Make sure it's good. So I see that that is expanding, so I'll leave it. So now you want to even this out into a nice even profile, just like what you would gather over for the next step, the next layer. All right, so the next step is to gather over this and make this into a vessel. We're gonna do this in the next video. We're gonna make a vase out of this, so stay tuned.
There's a lot of nuance to color overlays, so we thought it was important to just focus in on that one step. And next time, we're gonna make something beautiful.
Make sure you like and subscribe and ask your questions in the comments.
And we'll see you next time.